Now to Washington, where an overnight move by Chief Justice John Roberts allows a U.S. foreign aid package to stay frozen for now. Roberts paused a district court order for the Trump administration to pay up millions by midnight Wednesday. I want to bring in CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand. As you see there, she's live at the White House for us. Natalie, walk us through what we're hearing from the Supreme Court on this, how it reached its decision.
Good morning, Errol. And specifically what we're hearing from the Chief Justice, because it's Roberts who oversees requests for emergency relief from cases stemming from Washington, D.C. District Court. So that's why he made this decision last night, saying in this ruling that the administration did not need to immediately pay an estimated $2 billion in foreign assistance to pay for projects that had already been completed. Now, his ruling came after a federal judge here in Washington gave the State Department and USAID until midnight Wednesday to pay the bills. But the Trump administration argued that that timeline was impossible to comply with, that it required multiple steps to reinitiate these payments, and that could take multiple weeks. So they pushed back, appealed to the Supreme Court, and again, Chief Justice last night ruling, making this administrative stay, which is really just a pause until the Supreme Court can consider the case further, which is expected perhaps later this week. But Errol, this latest development comes as the Associated Press obtained a memo that the Trump administration plans or says it plans to eliminate 90% of USAID foreign aid contracts and around $60 billion in overall U.S. assistance around the world.
Wow. So the conclusion for what happens to it ultimately hasn't been reached just yet. And I know the president hosted his first... Right. Yeah, and the president hosted his first cabinet meeting yesterday. Elon Musk, his special advisor, was there standing for a portion of it. What did they say about the firing of federal workers?
Right. This cabinet meeting comes as this new memo was released by the administration, which tells agencies to submit reorganization plans, preparing for large-scale firings or reduction in force, submit those plans by mid-March. And Elon Musk, who, aside from the president, was the first featured speaker during this cabinet meeting, he was asked if the administration has a target number of federal employees that they are looking to cut. And he didn't put a number on it. Instead, he said that they're looking to eliminate non-essential positions or people who are not doing their jobs well. We know from this administration memo that agency heads have been asked to look for areas of, duplication or redundancy. But the issue of that directive from Musk over the weekend for federal employees to list their 5 accomplishments, that also came up. The White House saying that around 1 million federal workers had responded. But a reporter in the cabinet meeting asked, well, what happens to those other federal workers who haven't responded? Take a listen to what the president and Musk had to say.
Those million people that haven't responded, though, Elon, they are on the bubble. Now, maybe they don't exist. Maybe we're paying people that don't exist.
I think that email perhaps was best interpreted as a performance review, but actually it was a pulse check review. Do you have a pulse?
But remember, this highlights the continued mixed messages from the administration because, Errol, as you know, as we've reported, some of those agency heads told their employees not to respond, especially agencies dealing with national security. They said, pause those responses. We have our own procedures for internal review. And ultimately, the Office of Personnel Management had to say this is up to individual agencies to decide whether or not they want to make the employees respond to this latest directive.
Yeah, very important point. Natalie, thank you very much.